So since I've started watching and reacting to Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens videos, I get a lot of comments that are like, oh my god, I used to like Alex Hefner, now he's turned into some damn fascist, misogynistic, anti-trans, right-wing piece of shit bastard. And I'm like, what? What is happening? I've noticed a correlation that if you react to Jordan Peterson, people are like, oh what, you probably love Trump, you probably masturbate to Trump's pictures instead of watching Pornhub. Probably taking it from a doll with a strap on and a giant picture of your own face attached to it. What the f? I'm halfway there, because I got this massive ass face of me. You watch Jordan Peterson videos, people assume you love Trump, so I thought that this was such an interesting video of Jordan Peterson on the worst things about Donald Trump. Let's react to it, shall we? Alright guys, so I know that the content of this video could get a little bit hairy, so I wanted to come here and provide the best way to get rid of unwanted hair with Harry's. Now, honestly, this is a really cool experience for me because I have been a fan and a customer of Harry's since probably back in 2016, whenever I saw them sponsor one of Roman Atwood's videos, and now they are sponsoring one of our videos? It's fucking crazy. First and foremost, thank you, Harry's. We really appreciate it. Dude, I know there are some hairy motherfuckers out there that watch this channel, and these razors are fucking badass because look at the blades. Look at the freaking blades! In all seriousness, dude, premium blades manufactured in Germany for a close, comfortable, and smooth shave. Two-tone handle design, and we're gonna jump to putting these products in the grass because it looks better. There are also fair prices for everyone. No bullshit outrageous price tags, no premiums, nothing besides a quality razor at an affordable price, dude. Check this out. That looks questionable. Oh yeah, a little foam? Okay, check this out. Oh yeah. Let's see this smooth shave? Smooth as my wife! Probably wasn't the best thing to say or do, but let me go take care of this. Oh god. I'm not kidding though, dude. These razors slap harder than my stepmom. I'm coming here with a gift for you guys because you can redeem your starter kit for just $3 when you go to harrys.com/AlexHefner. Link will be at the top of the description. And with all that being said, let's dive back into the video.
Okay, let's talk about Trump then briefly for a second because he's in London at the moment now as we're chatting right now. He's obviously divisive, I think is probably a kind word to say. Again, from a personal perspective, I don't live in America. I don't, in the US, I don't experience any of his policies. I'm certainly not as well informed as I could be. But from the outside looking in, occasionally scanning the news, his
I already like this guy because, I mean, he's mentioned, hey, I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. That's nice. I mean, you got to appreciate that honesty and upfrontness, that self-awareness. I appreciate that 100%.
His social media. And I'm just curious to see what you think about this. The worst thing, from my point of view, that he does is make it seem okay to be a troll and to be a troll in real life and to use the kind of language that he uses. And
I think that might be the worst thing that he does. It's possible that that's the worst.
That is interesting. I guess being a troll is idolized and admired in more the gaming culture. Definitely the gaming culture. I turn into a different person when I'm playing video games. Literally, I go from, guys, you can do anything you want, keep smiling, keep being yourself, and then all I do, only difference, is I put a controller in my hands and I turn into this. You sack of fucking shit, piece of worthless bullshit, I hope that you fuck your mom in the head. But I guess it's not glamorized whenever it's the person who's running the free world running.
The worst thing that he does. The Trump phenomenon probably worries me less than people think it should. But there are reasons for that.
Worries me less than people think it should. Okay.
The first reason is that I don't really think that the American people are more polarized now than they were 10 years ago. And the reason I think that is because for 20 years, 50% of them have voted for Republicans, 50% of them have voted for Democrats. It hasn't moved. It's been exactly the same. Now this time they had Clinton and Trump as candidates, and perhaps that was unfortunate. And I also don't think Trump won the election. I think Clinton lost the election. It was hers. She had it in the bag. There were a number of things she did that were really not very bright, like play identity politics that cost her the election. I don't think that the Americans are any more polarized than they were under Nixon.
Play identity politics. What does that mean to y'all? Drop a comment down below. Literally, without reading anybody else's comment, without looking it up, what does identity politics mean to you? And then, I mean, shit, edit the comment with the actual definition. But that's interesting.
And then that was pretty polarized. Like, there was violence on the campuses. There was more violence in that period of time than there is now. And more polarization. Of course, the war in Vietnam was still going on. I don't
Vietnam.
think that it's obvious that the Americans are more polarized than they were under Reagan. Maybe they are, but I don't think it's worse than under Nixon. And so they've muddled through this sort of thing before. Trump is an anomaly, in my estimation. He isn't a typical Republican. He's quite bombastic and assertive. He's not a typical conservative. In fact, he wasn't a conservative, I don't think, at all before.
He's a registered Democrat,
well,
I think.
Yeah, and he's got an entrepreneurial bent as well. And entrepreneurial types tend to be liberal
Well, that's what he sold
rather than
himself on, I
conservative.
suppose, as president.
Well, he is an entrepreneur. He's an author. He had a successful TV show. He's had his real estate dealings, and you can quit.
If that's true, why do you guys think that is? That entrepreneurs tend to lean to the left? I don't necessarily know. I know that with a mass amount of the biggest law firms out there, they are all very democratic. And in my mind, if I'm just thinking about this logically, not from my own political perspectives or anybody else's, but logically, I'm thinking, okay, Democrats typically stand for more social, like reaching the masses, right? So whenever you have somebody who's self-made, like an entrepreneur that goes into business and is successful, who's made the money, it doesn't necessarily make sense that more of those people would lean to the left, logically. Tell me what you guys think. I'm not sure. I could be off the mark.
About how successful he was at some of those things. He was certainly successful on TV. And
sure as
so
hell
he's
was.
got an entrepreneurial temperament.
Trump is fantastic content.
He's a strange person. He's an idiosyncratic person. And the one thing I would say in his...
And I feel the need to say some annoying shit. Whenever I say Trump is great content, again, people will take that out of context. Literally meaning, if you hate him or you love him, you can make a video about him saying anything and it will do well. Trump generates views because he's so polarizing, right?
His favor, as far as I'm concerned so far, is that he has not embroiled the U.S. in an additional stupid war. And that's happened a lot in the last 15 years, and the fact that that hasn't happened so far, I'm quite happy about. So he's noisy, he's provocative, that's for sure. He seems impulsive, although it's hard to tell how much of that is crafted, you know. He's definitely disagreeable, which is quite interesting, and that comes out in his Twitter behavior and so forth, and in the way that he handles his political allies, for that matter. He's certainly...
Having strategy of your personality, like, I like things about every political candidate that we've ever had. Any president that we've ever had, I can find something that I like about them. With Trump, one of the things I liked about was that other countries seem to be scared of us. And it's like, I don't hate that. I kind of like that.
Not currying favor. And you can make the case that he's a divisive figure, and perhaps that's the case. But...
At least on a global scale. You know, from the outside looking in. I'm not. You're traveling through America. I'm not. Just
America's very more upset than I've seen it. People are more upset in the United States than I've seen. Certainly, I lived there for 6 years in the 90s. People are more upset now than they were then. The tension is palpable. But I'm not convinced that reflects a
Palpable. Good ass word. Palpable. Oh, like palpable. Okay. So intense as to seem almost tangible. Makes sense.
Genuine polarization on the part of the populace itself. There's lots of factors at play. What I'm hoping for is a return to normative incompetence among politicians. That would be really nice. Moderate left, moderate right, reasonable discussion, certain underlay of ineradicable corruption, you know, small-scale corruption that you always see in political systems, but none of this ideological excess. That would be lovely.
Reasonable discussion, I think, is the...
Well, reasonable stupidity. You mentioned earlier, you know, that Chris Rock's proposition that we're all fools. It's like, true enough, and that's basically what we can expect from our politicians as well, but it's a kind of normative foolishness that would be a real relief, in my estimation. And so I'm hoping that...
Rather than letting the pendulum swing from one maximum to the other maximum, let's have more in between. How about like here's the middle. Let's have some leaning left, some leaning right. Right in there seems to be the sweet spot, because whenever you get extreme, I mean, shit's just wild. Goddamn. Y'all seen that? No, seriously, whenever you do that, it's like that one crazy ass ping pong volley.
That's what happened in my home province, because we had a government that were nominally centrist. They were the Liberal Party, which is the centrist party in Canada, but they were really quite radical leftists. And they didn't really give a damn about the fact that the party they had taken over was traditionally Canada's centrist party. And they were pushing ideological nonsense, and they got absolutely thrashed in the last election, virtually lost official party status from a majority. And now we have a center-right premier who I'm hoping will be normally incompetent for the next 4 years. That would be just exactly
normally incompetent.
So I'm
That's
not too
so
worried
interesting
about the situation in the United States. I think the Americans have been through far worse than what they're going through now. The economy's in reasonable shape, although people argue about how sustainable that is. I think what's happening in North Korea is extremely interesting. I mean, I'm not optimistic about it because anybody with any sense would never be optimistic about North Korea, but it could be worse. And I mean, how do you judge the success of an American president? Not engaging in a stupid war is a nice start.
That's true. I agree with that. So, and somewhere down the damn rabbit hole in the filtery trees and shit going down the Twitter sphere, whatever's happening, people got it in their head that Trump and Jordan Peterson are linked. So I wanted to see what Jordan Peterson had to say, and it makes sense, dude. The normalization of the troll should probably not be the presidential candidate. Or, that being said, should not be sitting in the Oval Office. That's an argument. It's interesting. I get it. It makes sense to me. Like you said, Trump didn't necessarily win the election. Hillary seemed to lose the election. It was a protest vote. I'm not voting for that bitch, so I'm gonna vote for this crazy dude. That's what it seemed to be like. What I wanted to do is gain some interesting insight, which I definitely did, and I want to know what your thoughts are, okay? I gave you my thoughts sporadically through this, and frankly, it's gonna chap your own ass anyway, so I will see you, you beautiful bastard, in the next one. Peace!